was a time in my life where I was totally cortisol depleted. I had been running off of the stress hormones for a couple of years, and they finally ran out, and I was left super sick and absolutely out of my mind. So during that time, in order to recover from total cortisol depletion, I focused on my adrenals, supporting my adrenals, helping to just rest and recover. Part of that meant I was eating food every 3 hours to signal to my body that it was safe. And this helped for the time being, but I held on to that habit for way too long, and I was unable to go without food for hardly any amount of time. If I did miss a meal, I would feel jittery, I would be irritable, it was not good. And so I never wanted to fast. Fasting seemed terrible. It would mean that my body's not safe. I needed to eat food to feel safe. So I thought fasting would make me worse. But I wasn't prepared for what would actually happen once I fasted. I'll explain my history with fasting, why I decided to fast, and what happened. In high school, I did a couple of fasts that were only a day long, 24 hours long, nothing crazy, and it wasn't until 2021 for 3 months, or 3 to 4 months, I can't quite remember, I fasted for 2 days every week. And it was rough. I didn't feel that great, but I was doing it for spiritual reasons, so I didn't really even track any health benefits or changes at all. I was just doing it for spiritual benefits, and it was just for a short amount of time, and then that was that. And during that fast, I was on night shift as a paramedic, so I was, for 3 years, super stressed out, not good, and then at the end of it, I added on fasting. Maybe not the best timing, but that's what happened. So after that is when I had to fix my adrenals and recover. So that fasting probably wasn't the best timing and wasn't the greatest experience for me. So why, after my history with needing to eat food to feel safe, did I decide to fast? Well, I recovered my cortisol. It was at nice, good, healthy levels. I was feeling good. My mental state recovered. For a couple of years, my cortisol was fixed, but I still just didn't want to fast. But I had an appointment with a holistic doctor, just a one-time appointment to try and get to the root cause of some of my issues. And he couldn't do much for me, but he recommended that I fasted, and so I did. And I soon implemented fasting into my routine, my weekly routine. Because I was defeated that nothing else was working, I was just like, well, why not? Why not try fasting? So in March of this year, 2026, I started to fast regularly. And I do 48, actually it's more like 50 to 54 hours a week that I fast all at once. The best benefit of fasting was definitely feeling closer to the Lord, feeling more reliant on the Lord. I didn't have any huge spiritual epiphanies or spiritual breakthroughs, but it just was an overall sense of closeness with the Lord, which was really delightful. Looking at my physical health, I recognized that my acne flare-ups were not as intense as they normally are, and I've also had more consistent, good bowel movements. Still not perfect, but I feel like my bowels definitely feel better, less pain, which is amazing. I also lost the jittery feeling that I would normally get without eating food, and I no longer feel jittery at all, no matter how long I go without food. Now, on the days that I do eat, if I go a little longer without a meal than I normally do, I'm not going crazy. So that's a really good benefit that I wasn't really expecting that I needed, but it has been so helpful. So looking at my acne journey, I have had acne starting around 2017, and my worst years was 2018 to 2021, just severe cystic acne all over my face. And now I just get occasional breakouts, occasional flare-ups, and I feel a lot better about the progression of my acne is definitely has been dwindling over time. And I do a lot for my acne to heal it and for my gut to heal my gut, because my gut's probably causing part of it, and I have some hormonal issues. But so I've been focusing on a lot of different things, but I think fasting has definitely helped the intensity of my flare-ups to not be as strong. And then I've also noticed that I feel like my skin rejuvenation has been better. Like some of my scars have decreased in appearance. At least I think so, and I am hoping so. I need to take pictures in order to track if that's actually objectively true or not. As for my bowel movements, I've had pretty consistent diarrhea for years. I have done a total gut reset, and that has helped my bloating, but for some reason I still pretty frequently have poor bowel movements even with eating fiber. But fiber definitely has helped. But I think fiber and fasting have been a little bit of a key to like finally my gut healing and having some normal bowel movements that are definitely more consistent. And it's a small improvement, but I'll take it. Now having the jittery feelings fixed, I feel like I was blind to the fact that I most likely was having insulin problems, as my symptoms were quite diabetic-like in nature, and I thought that because I ate balanced meals that I was in the clear. Obviously, my frequent meals kept my blood sugar up all the time, and I then became insulin resistant, most likely. So that was something I wasn't expecting to feel better or fixed, or even to realize that I had an issue in the first place. So fasting kind of revealed that by just fixing it, and then I felt amazing. So how am I going to move forward from this? I am actually super excited about fasting now. I love it. I feel so good when I'm fasting and after, and I just feel like so energized and so healthy, and I have been able to maintain my muscle mass pretty well and my weight pretty well, which has been cool to see. I also read a book called The Atomic Power of Prayer and Fasting, or what's it called? Atomic Power with God with Fasting and Prayer by Franklin and Helen Hall. I loved this book, and I am excited to do longer fasts and do spiritual fasts. Previously, I felt bad for doing a spiritual fast and thinking of the health benefits that I would receive, because I thought that those couldn't go together. Like I would have to fully have my mind on fasting for spiritual purposes and not be accepting of any of the physical benefits. But that's simply just not how God designed it. He designed this thing to be good for us, and that means that it's good for us spiritually, mentally, and physically. It's a blessing, and we can give thanks to God for those things while we're fasting, and we don't have to play this game of like, oh, I'm fasting for spiritual reasons, like it's not for weight loss, it's not for this other thing. It can be. It can be for both, because God wants us to be healthy and make sure our temples are clean and taken care of. Yeah, don't let that be a barrier to you fasting, because it's something that God wanted us to benefit from. Goes to show how cool God is of the things that He wants us to do, not only get us closer to Him spiritually, but also help us to be better individuals physically. Just so cool. When I went into fasting, I thought it would just be another dead end to my health journey, but it was not. Turns out fasting has benefits I didn't even perceive. Due to my history, fasting wasn't always the correct option. It wouldn't have been the best idea when I was super stressed out, but now is a good time to do it. Fasting allowed me to take a giant step in my health, and I feel better than I have in a long time. Fasting is the oldest, the safest, and the most effective method of treating disease. Herbert Shelton. Let me know about your fasting stories, fasting testimonies down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.